The Game Boy Advance is arguably considered one of Nintendo's best gaming consoles of all time period, with a very impressive library from both first-party and third-party games. I mean, because of this console, we were able to get stuff like Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. If you wanted your platform fix, then Sonic Advance and Crash Bandicoot The Huge Adventure were pretty good. And this was also the console where certain other Nintendo series were beginning to start their footing, like with Fire Emblem. And as for Mario's life on the Game Boy Advance, it was also pretty solid as well, as we were able to get very good remakes of classic 2D Mario games, with Super Mario Bros. Advance 4 being the definitive way to play through Super Mario Bros. 3. And even the spin-offs weren't a slouch either, because we had great stuff like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Mario and Luigi, I already talked about that, and surprisingly, a golf and tennis RPG on the system as well. But out of all the Mario games that were released on this handheld, there was one that kinda sticked out over the years. As in 2004, Nintendo would release this small little GBA title called Mario Pinball Land. Now, one of the great things about the GBA is that it's very effective pick-up-and-play kind of console. So having a Mario Pinball game works very well. Now, this game wasn't necessarily made by Nintendo, instead it was made by a small little British studio called Fuse Games. Now, the best way to describe this studio is literally a video game pinball studio, because most of their resume comes up with a bunch of pinball games. And Mario Pinball Land is not the only game Fuse worked with Nintendo, as for the next console, they were also the developers of Metroid Prime Pinball. But with that game, it was a much more traditional pinball game with some Metroid elements, while Pinball Land tries to have a very big Mario twist to it, similar to something like Mario Tennis or Mario Golf. However, unlike those games, I feel like that was more so a detriment more than anything. But yeah, I've actually played this game a few years ago, but I don't really remember much of it. All I can remember was, door, come on, hit the enemy. Oh my god, Bowser, I hope you die alone! But yeah, I've played this game for a bit, but I never beat it, so since this game won polls, why not? I'm just gonna try and brute force my way to beat this game once and for all. But with everything out of the way, let's get started. So the story begins at a small little festival in the Mushroom Kingdom where there's this big attraction, where there's this special machine that can convert someone into a ball and shoot you out of a cannon and into a target. Honestly, sounds a lot more painful than fun. But Peach decides to take a go on it and turns herself into a small little ball, where some Goombas then change the trajectory of the cannon and launch right into the castle. And so logically, Mario's inner voice then tells him to turn into a ball to try and save Peach. This plot is so stupid and ironically becomes very entertaining. And sadly, this opening is probably the best part of Mario Pinball Land. But as for the gameplay, it's pinball. Instead of controlling Mario directly, use the paddles to fling him across the areas and try to get as much points as you can. But this is not your standard pinball game because they decided to have a bit of a Mario element to it, because this game is more so like a weird adventure hybrid game as well, as this game's progression is ripped right out of Mario 64, as with each of the areas there are at least one star to find as you defeat all the enemies. I can say that one blessing about this game is that you only need 15 to beat this game, as for most of the star requirements aren't that high because you can actually choose which area you can explore first, as your main goal for each of the places is to find that area's boss. And after you defeat them, you'll be able to collect their keys, which is the way to get to Bowser's Castle. Although whatever you do not go immediately to Bowser's Castle, because if you do so, you'll get immediately soft-locked, as you're unable to leave the area, so all you can do is just try to get a game over. But that is the least of this game's issues, because when we actually play this game... So when it comes to pinball tables, they are usually these big open areas where you can get a lot of points. But in Mario Pinball Land, the actual table areas are honestly very barren and at times very irritating. Like during the first area, as I tried to take down these Goombas, I had a hard time getting the final one because he constantly moves around. And even worse, he's blocked off by this hive, and every time Mario hits it, he'll bounce around. And you think this would make it easier to hit the Goomba, but no, it's very easy to miss him. And when I did actually get him, this happened. Now this game does try and encourage you to try and explore and get collectibles, as every time you defeat an enemy you'll get a coin which is used as currency to buy various items. But if you're able to take down 2 enemies at once and do a combo, you'll be able to reward yourself with a blue coin, which are used to play 3 different minigames to get even more stars. All of what I'm saying is literally easier said than done. There's these one sections where you're trying to take down all these boos, which are really pain in the butt to kill. With the biggest hurdle of getting the star of this area are not the boos, but not trying to hit the giant door. Because every time you leave one of these areas while trying to defeat all the enemies, when you try to re-enter, all the enemies respawn again, meaning that you have to do all of that all over again. And the biggest irony here is that this is literally the easiest door to get in this game. Because man, oh my god, how do you screw up doors this badly? Because even trying to go through a freaking door is a pain in the butt in this game. As all you have to do is try to hit the door and open it, but once again, it's easier said than done. As you pray to freaking Christ that the GBA pinball physics actually works in your favor and open the goddamn door, let alone get into it again. But oh, make sure you don't hit all of the doors, because if you do, they will automatically freaking close. Because God forbid I actually go through that door without having a big hassle about it. And that's not even going through the various gimmicks that each of the worlds have. Or should I say two of the worlds, because one of them is literally just a grassy plains with the only thing you actually have to go to get the boss is just hit the windmill button and go in. And after that, we then head straight into the snow world, as you try to guide this Freezy over a crack of ice so you can enter the water areas. But then as we head to the desert area, we need to push these statues so the pyramid can rise. And along the way, do these various annoying challenges within the pyramid. And, oh, that's about it. As the final key is located in the carnival area in this small little haunted house, which only goes through one door, which is the easiest door to get in the game. But at the very least, the bosses in this game were surprisingly decent. The first one you fight PD Prawn as you try to attack him while avoiding his mouth. The second one is this giant pufferfish cheat shape that you need to use the bomb to stun him with. The third one, you're fighting this Koopa Egyptian that honestly I thought for a second was that boss from Paper Mario. But according to the wiki, apparently he counts as his own thing. Wait, what do you mean he appeared in WarioWare? And the final pre-ultimate boss fight I played through was Big Boo, and it's probably the easiest boss in this game. I do not know why, but I always like that cutscene. Now as for the presentation of this game, I'll give this game credit that this game looks pretty nice for the GBA. All the characters in this game look pretty good in pre-rendered 3D. And the environments look pretty good as well, even if it does lean a bit too much on the bland side. As it does lean to the Mario trappings of stuff like grass, desert, snow, and such. But considering the fact that this is a pinball game, I'll let that slide. And I do gotta say, the promotion art for this game alone is honestly very stellar. Which honestly makes it a real shame that the game itself is, yeah, as you can tell by this video, I'm not really a big fan of this game. As even though that it has its charms, it is overall just a very, very frustrating Mario game. Like, the level design in this game is very flat and frustrating, the doors are frustrating, the bosses were decent, but overall, it's just like, it just adds up. Like, I get what they're trying to do, like, trying to make a Mario 64, like, pinball game, but execution-wise, this just not work. Especially when we head to the near end of this game, because holy shit, this is easily one of the worst Mario experiences I have ever played. As once you enter the Bowser's Castle and unlock the boss gate, we then head to the final battle, and my lord, this is honestly the worst Bowser boss I have ever freaking played. So in order to defeat King of the Simps, you need to fling Mario around the area so he can rank up these swamps. Okay, so that's basically the easiest thing to do because all you need to do is fling him when it's at the tip of the flippers. But then you need to hit the giant blue switch in the center to stun Bowser, but good luck actually doing it with Bowser's big fucking ass in the way. I swear to God, because of how Bowser takes up most of the area, he single-handedly makes this boss nearly unplayable. As you pray to freaking Reggie that the GBA ball physics works in your favor. And to make things even better, Bowser also has this special thing where he can stun the flippers, causing you to fall off. And if you fall off, you go straight down to the beginning of the castle. As they purposely make sure when you leave the first part of the section, you go dead straight between the flippers. Meaning that you also have to deal with these annoying freaking Shy Guys that gets in your way. And the best part too, is that when you re-enter, the whole boss goddamn resets. So I pray to freaking Christ when you actually do this boss, you do not fumble at the last minute. And once you actually do defeat Bowser, you have this one final thing you need to do, where you need to fling him across the wall. Easier said than done! But yeah, after you fling the everlasting hell out of Bowser out of his own castle, The day is saved as Mario was able to save Peach once more, as the two enjoy their honeymoon on the roller coaster, concluding Mario Pinball Land. This game sucks. Now, as someone who occasionally defends much more overhated games like Yoshi's New Island, for example, I had no enjoyment with Mario Pinball Land. Paper Mario Sticker Star was a more fun and engaging experience. If I had to choose between these two games, I would take Sticker Star in a freaking heartbeat. Now, I should say, obviously, since this is a Mario game, there's always going to be some fans who would really enjoy that game, and honestly, if you like it, then good for you. But for me, I'm never actually going to be playing this game again, as this game was just more so infuriating than just fun. But hey, at the very least, it did have good material for like a video like this, so. But as for the next video, I decided I want to try out more non-Nintendo videos, so for the next time we'll be here, we'll be delving into the Kingdom Hearts series with Kingdom Hearts 1. Now, I have a lot of things to say about this game because this is one of the few games that I grew up with over the years. So I cannot wait to talk about this, but that'll do for today, so thank you for watching and I'll see you later. Bye-bye!